This project is named as Time-Based Switching System with Load Sharing. First of all, let me give a general introduction to the project. The main purpose of the project is to control the switching of a particular load based on the timer implemented on a PIC 16F877 microcontroller. It also facilitates sharing of load between various loads based on their priorities. Let us pass on to the components used in the project. First of all, we have this box, which contains the mastermind of the project, that is the PIC 16F877 microcontroller. Now, various connections are made to this controller, to this LCD, and to these three relays, and also to various switches. Also, a battery is attached so as to power the microcontroller for its processing. Here we have a 16x2 LCD, which will display the 24-hour clock as well as the on time and off time for the relay. Here are the four switches that will enable us to set the time for the 24-hour clock as well as the on time and off time. Well, all these three relays are attached to this extension rod, and here we can attach three loads: the light load, the two heavy loads, the load that is controlled by a timer, and the other heavy load that is controlled by a manual switch. Now the first relay controls the light load, and the other two relays controls the heavy load. And of these two heavy loads, this is controlled by the timer and by the time-based system, and this is controlled by a manual switch. And since this is a light load, its working will not be affected by the working of other two relays. And of these two relays, if this relay is on, that is the time-based relay is on by the controller, and we switch on this relay, and as it has the highest priority, this relay will automatically be switched off, and this relay will start to operate. And once we switch off this relay will again resume its working. Now let us understand the working of the project. First of all, let us set the time for the 24-hour clock and the on time and off time for the time-based relay. First of all, let me connect a battery that's a power source for the microcontroller, and get it connected. Now here you can see the 24-hour time with the 24-hour clock and the on time and off time, that is the on time and off time for the time-based relay. Here we have four switches, and I'm going to set the 24-hour clock using this switch and the on time and off time for the relay using these four switches. So here the second switch that is used to move the cursor from left to right. As you can see here, the cursor is moving from left to right. Using the first switch, I can increment the cursor. I can increment the bit that is here on the LCD, and see, it can be incremented like this. Now first of all, let me set the time to 0, just here, to 000, and that is the second switch will enable us to pass on to the next step. And here I can set the on time and off time. And again, using the other two switches, I am going to set the on time to 1 minute, like 0 hours in 1 minute, and off time to 2 minutes. Using the top switch, I'm going to pass to the other step. And here we have done. And here is a 24-hour clock working, and this will count the seconds. And as soon as it clicks 1 minute, the second load will be switched on. And as soon as it clicks the second minute, it will automatically be switched off. Now, as you can see here, I have placed three lamps that represent the three types of loads. The first lamp here represents a light load. The other two lamps represents the heavy load. The third lamp represents a heavy load with highest priority, and the second lamp represents heavy load with the low priority. Also, the second lamp is controlled by the timer that is implemented over 16-bit Sun 7 microcontroller. As you can see here, we are going to take 1 minute time, and as well as the controller take 1 minute, the timer-based load is automatically switched on by the microcontroller. Now, as I have explained before, we can switch on or off the light load without disturbing any other loads. As you can see here, I'm switching on and switching off the light load without disturbing any other load. And also, if I switch on the high priority load, the low priority load will be switched off, and the high priority load will be switched on. And if I switch off the high priority load, the low priority load will be switched off. Again, here, as you can see, the three loads are placed, and we can switch on or off the light load without disturbing any other load. As here you can see, we are about to take the second minute, and as soon as we take the second minute, the timer based load will be switched off, and here we go. The timer based load is switched off by the microcontroller, and here you can see the timer has passed the 2-minute time, and even then the light load is working fine, and we can control it. We can switch it on or switch it off, and also we can switch on or switch off the high priority load. Now let me switch on both the loads. And also the timer is working fine. The 24-hour clock is working fine. It's counting, and that's the whole project. Thank you.